By now, everybody knows there is a no kings rally. There are no kings rallies all over the country, and this weekend, the weekend of October 18th, we all know that we're fighting against policies that this president is putting into place that are putting American lives at risk. And we also need to know, all of us need to know, that Donald Trump and his cadre of, I can't even call them an administration, this cadre of clowns and criminals and sycophants and fascists want total control of this country by force, by any means necessary. And they're going to use those rallies all over the country to justify the Insurrection Act and calling for martial law. As an American citizen who firmly believes in the Constitution of the United States, my plea to all of you participating in these rallies is three things. 1. Remain peaceful. Donald Trump and his sycophants already, matter of fact, the point is already, you have Steve Ducey, the Transportation Secretary. You got Mike Johnson, the Speaker of the House. You already have Stephen Miller, the Nazi fascist who's only 2 steps away from looking like Joseph Goebbels, already calling us terrorists, calling Democrats like me terrorists. Not because we participated in a terroristic act, which we have not. Not because we said terroristic things, which we have not. Though idiotic fools on Twitter have tried to post lies about me personally that I have. We have not done any of those things. The only crime we've committed is going to vote 3 times in 3 presidential elections and marking either Hillary Clinton, Joe Biden, or Kamala Harris for voting for president instead of Donald Trump. That was the only crime in their minds that we committed, not voting for Donald Trump. And they're using everything we say and everything we do, either on social media or outside, to prove that we're somehow some kind of criminal organization. That we're criminals just because we didn't vote for Trump. Fact of the matter is this. They've already branded us as criminals. They've already branded us as terrorists, all because we didn't vote for Trump. We need to make sure they see that we are not the criminals. We're not what they say we are. You want to label us as criminals just because we didn't vote for Trump? Fine. But what you're not going to do is lie about it. And Saturday is going to prove that. The next thing I say you need to do is remain vigilant. I say that because we know that Donald Trump is going to push his MAGA, his support base, into thinking that we're unpatriotic, we're the enemy, and we must fight the enemy, just the same way he did on January 6th, when he screamed to fight like hell or you're not going to have a country anymore. And the January 6th a terrorist attack on the Capitol was the result. Be extremely vigilant as to what's going on around you. If something doesn't look right, if you have a bad feeling about someone on the street that just walked in, get away from them and report them to the nearest police officer, because they will be out there in force. The police will be out there keeping an eye on things. Report. If you remember that old saying, if you see something, say something. Now, I'm not saying for you to be paranoid. I'm saying for you to be watchful. Watch out for what happens out there, because something, unfortunately, I hate to say this, but right now in Donald Trump's America, something may actually go wrong. And we need to be ready for that. And you need to be vigilant of that. The last thing I'm going to stress to you all, is that this is about Donald Trump and the policies that are hurting Americans in this country. From the big beautiful bill to his unleashing of ICE, like his own personal Gestapo, to all the way to this government shutdown that has furloughed or fired hundreds of thousands of American workers. This is about the man, not the position. We are not here to fight the government. We are here, I'm trying not to find a way to say fight against Trump. But unfortunately, that's the way things are going at this point. We are against Trump and his policies, not the government. Getting Trump and the rest of his sycophant criminals, from J.D. Vance to Kristi Noem to that drunk racist Pete Hegseth, all of them out of the White House, out of our government, may be the only way to save our country. But we do it the right way, the legal way, under the law. Calls for violence will not be tolerated. And if anyone in those protests screaming out for violence, you need to leave. Otherwise, you give oxygen to Donald Trump to declare martial law, to destroy civil liberties in this country. So be vigilant, be careful, be respectful, and be honorable. And I'm going to say something to law enforcement who are going to be at these protests, watching out. You also be vigilant. Now, you heard me say to them, to people who are going to participate in these protests, to be respectful of law enforcement. You need to be respectful of them. Not to join up in their protest, not to chant, not to hold signs. Remember, your duty is to protect and serve. And my last message is for you, Donald Trump. You, J.D. Vance. You, Pete Hegseth. You, Kristi Noem. And the rest of you criminals, you fascists who are so hell-bent on destroying our country. Because you see your opportunity to seize ultimate power. You may be wearing your pants because you see your opportunity to seize power this weekend. Don't try it. Don't. Now you may think you have more you may have more men on your side, but you don't. You don't. You may think you have more power on your side. You don't. And if you do try Insurrection Act or martial law, you will fail. You will be called to account in a court of law, you will be charged. You will spend the rest of your idiotic, pathetic lives in prison, which for you, unfortunately, Trump, won't be for very long. You are an unhealthy, physically and mentally man. It has not dawned on you that you can't bully people in this country. This isn't some company that you can just ransack through. This is the United States of America that you swore an oath to support and defend. You broke that oath. The moment you sent military troops in the American seas, you broke that oath. Your presidency may end in a few weeks, or it may end in the next 3 years. But it's going to end. And when it does, that strange clank clank sound you hear behind you will be a jail cell. You're going to prison, Trump. The only way you don't after these 3 years are over is if you get on the plane and run like hell for Russia, for Qatar, for North Korea, for wherever country will have you. This is the time for you to be an American, Trump. You've never been an American ever in your life. Now's the time. The Constitution gives us freedom of speech and the freedom to assembly. Honor those freedoms. Because if you don't, you'll be seen in history of this nation as a criminal, as a traitor. That we will not forgive nor forget. CTP, know the truth. God bless. Peace to the left, justice to the right.